We're here to give artist Bob Gilbert his 5 minutes of fame. Bob is a painter. Which is your favourite medium, acrylic or watercolour? Oil or watercolour?
All three. I do a little acrylic, mostly oils like this and watercolors like this.
What would you say that your style is?
My style, excuse me, my style is impressionistic and partly realistic. As you can see from the finished product, you can tell it's New York, you can tell it's a cityscape. You can see from the watercolor, it's New York again. I try not to make too much detail. I try to just get a feeling of what the subject is.
Do you prefer to paint plein air, or do you take a photograph and hustle on home and paint from there?
That's a hard question. If it's raining, I much prefer the studio. If I had a choice, I would choose plein air, especially on a cloudy, rainy day, as long as I'm protected, because you can get wonderful reflections. Otherwise, you have to fake them. So going out and trying to fake reflections is difficult. Also, going out and trying to make up which direction the sun is coming from is difficult. So between the two, you just do what you can. But if I had to choose between in a studio and outside, I'd go outside.
What do you think you are most well known for? Initially I was thinking, what's the painting that you're most well known for? But that might be too narrow. But what are you most well known for, Bob?
It's got to be New York. I probably have 90 New York paintings still at home. I've sold more New York than any other of my paintings. I've been doing it for the past 15 years, while I've been doing watercolor for much more. I started when I was 7. So they're much faster to do. It takes 3 hours, anywhere from an hour and a half to 5 hours to do a watercolor. And an oil painting can take, instead of hours, weeks. So it's much more labor intensive, easier to go over. So it is something that makes a big difference. I like them both.
When you were beginning to paint, who was the artist that you most aspired to be? Or if I could paint like that, I'll know I'm successful.
I don't know. That's a really hard question. I've been taking different classes in watercolor, and they paint much differently than somebody else. I take classes from Jill in oils, and I really like her style. If I go back into history, it may go back to Rembrandt, or it may go back to Van Gogh. It's the idea of finding your own style, and I don't want to imitate too much somebody else's. I want it to be mine.
Do you prefer to be the student or the teacher?
I don't know. I had never thought about that before. I really enjoy teaching, and I've taught several classes in perspective and watercolors and oil. I've taught landscape. I love the feeling of having the chance to share my experiences and my ability with somebody else. On the other hand, it works just the opposite. I take classes because I want to improve. I take classes because I learn something every day. I have a Zoom class tomorrow, and I'll be painting for 3 hours. I'll finish 2 paintings in that time. Hopefully they'll be good enough to keep. But it's part of the learning process of getting somebody else's input as you go through the process.
What's the first piece of art you see when you wake up in the morning?
In our bedroom, there's probably 3 paintings hanging on the wall. No more than that, 5 paintings. And 3 of them are mine. One still life, a couple of landscapes, oil, both oil and watercolor, and then 3 from a very good friend of mine who does prints that he has built up from travels that he's done around the world.
Your house is on fire. You can take 3 things and leave, and that's all. what are the art-related 3 things you're going to take with
Well, I
you?
was going to say my wife, probably first.
She's going to run out ahead of you.
Oh, I have a painting over the fireplace that I would grab first, and then I would say
Is it
probably.
a painting that you painted?
I painted it. It's about 5 feet long, and it's 30 or so inches tall, and it's 5 different canvases of Great Falls. So then the other, maybe a portrait or something that I would have done of my wife, and a large landscape.
Okay. It's good to know.